Hey guys, I just made this video yesterday showing how to change the camera background color in Maya 2025. And the reason I did this video, and I renamed it to part 1 because I'm doing this follow-up with part 2. And so the reason I did this video right here is because for a few years I was using it one way. And I wanted to make sure that anyone who still uses AI ray switch in Maya still has the ability to either use it, and I kind of show kind of a hacky way of doing it, or if someone is using Maya 2025, there's apparently a couple different options. So one of the options I showed yesterday that we explored how you can change the background color. But in this video I want to do a follow-up. The reason for that is because I actually got a comment from Dave Lister 2280. And Dave was nice enough to let me know that there's actually another way of doing it that could be even better. So I wanted to explore that with you guys. So in the message, Dave is saying, why don't I just use 2 sky domes and then set one sky dome as HDRI lighting and the other sky dome as the color, as the background color. And then just use light linking to control the lighting between the actual objects. So I wanted to attempt to do this and see how it works. Let's jump into Maya and take a look. All right, so here I am in Maya, and I just brought in one of my older characters. This is just a high-res character, and you can see in the outliner there's nothing here. It's just the character by itself, right? So let's see if we can control the camera color, right, in Arnold in Maya 2025. So what I'm going to do first, right away, I usually like to do this. I like to drop in a ground, right? And if you wanted to, there's a couple different ways you could do it, but if you wanted to use Arnold to catch shadows, right, you can just right click. Let's assign a material to this. So if you're using Arnold, you can just go to this drop down and choose something called AI shadow matte right here, right? And what that's going to do is just going to catch the shadows for Arnold. And to demonstrate that, let's bring in a light. So I'm going to bring in a light. Let's do a sky dome light. And the sky dome light, I'm going to set an HDR for my sky dome. All right, I like this one. I'm going to say open. All right, I'm going to turn my lights on. All right, and you can see the HDR is now affecting the object, right? And it's right there. You can see it in the background. And the actual shadow catcher is not really working because it's not working in the viewport because this is Arnold shadow catcher, right? But if I go to Arnold and do a render, you can see that the shadow is being rendered, right? And it's completely transparent. So it's just catching the shadow. Now that's one way of doing it with Arnold. And if you ever wanted to just use the viewport shadow catcher, you just right click, go to favorites, and in here there's something called use background. So if I do that, then you can see that now it's going to work in viewport, but it's not working right now because there's no viewport lights. So if I create a light and just drop in like let's do a directional light and turn the shadows on, right, you can see what they look like. So a couple different options. Whenever I do these tutorials, I always like to go off path a little bit just to show other tricks and things that maybe a new artist would be interested in. So one of them is to control shadows in both the viewport and Arnold rendering. So always an opportunity to learn new stuff, right? So in this case, what I'm going to do, I'm going to undo all this. And the reason I'm going to undo it is because I do want to have the Arnold shadow catcher, okay? And again, this is a part 2 experiment of trying to control the color of the background with the sky dome. So to do this, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to sky dome 1. I'm going to turn off my image, right? And when I do that, you can see that if I render my image now, it's not going to show the background, right? It's just going to be black. All right, very cool. So now I have the shadow catcher, I have the HDRI lighting, and I have the background set to transparent, so it's black. So now the challenge is how do we control the camera color, right? And what Dave was saying is you can actually bring in another sky dome. Let's do that. And then we'll take this sky dome and change it to any color we want. So maybe let's go with kind of a blue, right? Like a blue sky, that's fine. All right, and then you can see that the sky dome is now fighting with the HDRI lighting, right? And it's affecting my object. So what I could do is I can go to Windows, Relationship Editors, and I can click on Light Linking, and let's click on Light Centric, that's fine. And now we can see that these are the two lights, and we can see on the right side which light is affecting what. So we know the first light is going to be the HDRI light, and we do want the model to be affected by it, so that's great. I'm going to select the second one, which is just going to be the blue light, and I don't want to affect this, so I'm going to uncheck this, right? And now you can see that I have the blue background with the shadow, and the object only receiving lights from the first one, which is HDRI. And you can tell the difference. If I uncheck this, you can see, obviously, you know, it's the only one that's driving it, right? You can see that. So Dave, thank you so much. If you're watching this video, thank you so much for this really cool trick. And that is how you can control the camera background color. Really, really cool. And of course, we can change it to any color we want. For any one who likes pink, we can have pink, green, blue, whatever. But the other reason this might be a really cool workflow is because you can actually go here and do a ramp, right? So let's do a ramp. Let's choose a ramp, V-ramp. Let's go ahead and maybe change some of these colors. Maybe I want to do kind of a blue. Let's do like a dark blue here, and let's do kind of a lighter blue here. Okay, and now this is interesting, right? The ramp is not really being that effective because the sky dome light is so ginormous, right? So like our actual background lighting is ginormous. If I zoom out, you can see how big the sphere is. And maybe that's too big, right? So one thing I could always do is just simply scale this down and use that. Maybe that's going to be a little bit better. Let's go ahead and click on the character, press F, and now, right, let's go back to Sky Dome 2. Maybe I can switch this to like, let's do like a circular ramp, and we can play around with it. And you can see there's a little more control, right? So you have the nice gradient. You can figure out, you know, obviously you can rotate this. All right, so this would be a pretty clever way to control your camera color in Maya 2025. Hopefully you found this helpful, and I'll see you guys in the next one.